So much better.
All right. So, can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
All right. I can. And it's a lot better.
Okay.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
don't send them that link. They no. Do not join. Watch on YouTube. That link was only for you.
Sorry. I thought you said, well, I'm sorry, because I thought you said send out the new link. That's why I was like, oh, okay, cool.
No, I was sending out the new link to you. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. Sorry about that. We had a little bit of technical difficulty, but here is the funny part about that. This is exactly what happened on the very first show.
Did it really? Is that what when we were in the studio?
Well, when we were in the studio, we kept having issues trying to get everything up and running.
That was when we had our good old producer Rob, who was he was cool. Was his name Rob?
Rob, something like that. Yeah,
Robert. Okay, he was cool. I liked him.
Yeah, I liked him a lot. He was cool. Hold on, I'm setting up to show every where we were. Set us up live. Oh shit! Hit the wrong button. I zigged when I should have zagged. All right, so
come on, zigging when you should have zagging.
Let me.
Can we? While you're doing that, I just want to say this. So on my drive up into the mountains, listen, I understand it is November 23rd, and we are at the Thanksgiving days and times. But baby, it is something when you are coming out of one season like summer and fall, and then all of a sudden you see snow and you see ice. You're like, bitch, I'm not ready. Bitch, I'm not ready.
No, not at all.
I'm not ready. Like, I'm not ready.
So this was the very first episode of the BGKH Show. Y'all ready for a blast from the past?
Lord have mercy, Jesus.
Is it on?
Is it on?
Is it on?
Is this thing on?
Is it really on? Is it on?
All right, kids, we're going to try the... Oh, hold on. There we go. All right. All right, kids, we're going to try this one more again. Sorry about that, but we are ready to get started. So, where's the script? All right, there we go. All right. And counting down in 5, 4. Look at the camera, girl. Look at the camera, girl. In 5, 4. Which camera am I looking at? That camera right there. In 5, 4, 3. Good evening, everyone. Today is Wednesday, January 3rd, 2018. I'm Dominion.
And I am Epic.
And welcome to the very first episode of BGKH.
What you say?
I said BGKH.
What?
BGKH. 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 BGKH.
I'm good.
With Dominion
and Epic.
What? We are coming to you, I know, right? Exclusively on VoxPower.com. Excuse me, VoxWave.com. That's VoxPower 37.3. So, how did we find out about this station?
We were here as a guest on another show.
Yeah, let's see. We'll zip through some of this
background music.
But listen, we also got to remember that we had our two. That was the first show, but then we also had our two very first studio guests, and one of them is on the line. That is Miss Bougie Girl.
Yes. So that was an illustrious start. You were quite nervous, and that's fine.
So I think I was nervous because I wasn't sure of how much I wanted to share with people. It had nothing to do with being in front of the camera. Like, let me start that right there.
We all know you're a camera whore.
Oh.
I say that with love because I'm a camera
Pot,
whore too.
kettle, pot.
That's
I'm
like I
just
said.
saying.
I'm fine. I'm a camera whore too.
I mean, you are sparkling in the camera. You spinning around doing entrances, and I mean, it's okay. I got you. I got
Right.
you. I got you. But yes, it was a. So I think that was my issue. What I was struggling with. But yeah, I think I did. I'm looking at this and I was like, oh my god. I was like, I'm kind of reserved a little bit. But again, you know, when you first meet people, and we had just started our fans, and you know, people were tuning in. We didn't know who was tuning in and all that good stuff. But it was fun. It was real fun.
Yes, very that.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's history. So how did we come up with the BGKH show?
I think we were having a conversation about starting the show, and we were trying to figure out what to name it. And I think we had decided that we were going to do the show, and then we were like, I think it was actually you that was like, well, listen, it's just we could just call it whatever the fuck it is, because this is what we are. And we had this conversation about being black and being kinky and gay, and you know, but at the end of the day, we were like, we're all part of the human race, and we're all human. So that was literally, and I think for me, even when we first established what the name of the show was, I was kind of like, it doesn't quite flow off the lips, but I'm gonna go with it because it does. It's not like MCO. It didn't really roll off your lips like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I was a little hesitant about that, but I think, but it was good. Like I'm glad. And I laugh at people that are always like, "Are you still doing the KPAY Elemental
right?"
Show?
And like you, I'm like, it's funny with. Right, some of them try to be funny with it, but then other people are just like, they really don't. I was like, oh, so you just don't pay attention at all, huh? Okay, cool, got it.
Right. Or the person that came up to me when we were in blackout and he said, I don't seem to catch your shows anymore. You all, I mean, you haven't broadcast on Facebook. I kind of look for you on Facebook and everything else. And I was like, baby, I don't mean to make this sound any harsher than what it is, but baby, we haven't been on Facebook like in a year at least. But I appreciate you at least, you know, recognizing who we are, and maybe you want to come on over to the YouTube, because if you come over to the YouTube, you can actually see us every Wednesday.
Right. I was like, girl, I post a Facebook story every week saying that this is the show that's coming up. So, you know, I don't know what else you want me to do. If you literally want me to, you know, hold your hand and lead you to the show, then you're out of gas, baby. So
I don't know. But so it was
a super fun ride over the past 4.5 years. We will be coming up on our anniversary on January the 3rd. So we are going to do one more show in this cycle. And I think we should start calling them cycles. So cycle is a year. So cycle 5, part 1. Cycle 5, part 1.
I feel like, this is America's Next Top Model. Yeah, it was like cycle 5, cycle 6, cycle
5 starts in January. Our first show, January 4th, which will be episode 202, will start cycle 5. No, I thought we said we were doing a show next week.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, so that will be 202. Yeah. I was like, girl, don't go back on it now. I just got my mind all set now.
I got the numbers all mixed up. So yes, it is 202. Yes.
Yes. So that is going to be fun. And like you, there were times where I just didn't want to do it. And I think there's only been like 2 shows. I mean, like we could have had 200 a couple of weeks ago, but there's only been like 2 shows, I think one apiece, where we were just like, girl, I just can't.
It's just not gonna make it. Yeah, it's just
not gonna do it.
And if we look at the calendar and figure out when those things were, I can probably tell you what those reasons were for both of us. And, so
also a lot of it. We started the show before COVID.
Yes.
But once we sort of leaned into, yeah, girl, we could do this show remotely, even when we weren't feeling the best. It's like, girl, I just got to drag myself in front of this fucking camera for an hour and a half or two, and getting a chance to chat with Nichelle and Bougie Girl and Louboutin and Legionnaire and Best Friend and Eccentric and Dez and all of the super fans has really been buoyed. I mean, when we started the show on January 2018, and my father died in October 2018. So it was good to have this little family to rest on when we had that. And I know, you've been through challenges with your family, which I won't mention anymore. That's up to you to talk about or not. But, we've always been here for you with that. Okay, girl, don't cry. Don't.
No.
There's no crying in baseball.
This is Johnson Johnson. There's no more tears, baby. We good. Like we good.
And what I was saying before, you were saying something about the speech that I gave at Blackout. I said I needed to talk to my Botoxicologist because he was supposed to have taped my tear duct shut for the duration of that event. So I need my 25 cent back.
Well, I mean, you might want to work on
this. I found this guy over in not southeast, but southeast.
SOUFE.
Yes. And he stuck, a syringe into, he said it was a mixture of mayonnaise, of 20-day-old warm mayonnaise and water. And he said it was perfectly safe. He said it was FDA approved. And my face did immediately seize up. I was like,
it was DC tap water and botulism. That's what
it was. And so I assumed it would work. And then, here I was, crying like just crying. So,
we're gonna. What happened was so that was an allergic.
There's a lot of dust in the air, as I recall.
It was an allergic reaction to the dust, and that's what it was. I mean, like, come on. I mean, it happened to a bunch of us. Like, come on.
Yeah, it really was. I noticed it. It was an epidemic going around that day.
Yeah, it was.
This show has been really fun.
It has been.
It's given both of us, I think, a platform to just talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about. And we're paying it forward with Legionnaire.
Yes.
So, so we're super excited about what the future and the next, I won't say the next 200. I'm going to do 50 episodes at a time. That's 1 year at a time. That gets us to like a year or and a half or so of shows to get to 250. So we'll see where 250 gets us.
So we'll go with 250.
I still remember when we had episode 100 during the pandemic it was at your house.
Yes, it was in Annex K or J or whatever of one of the mansions that is somewhere, but it was outside on the patio, and it was we had a pool boy with no pool, but we had French 75s and hot wings and tacos, and real classy, real jazzy.
It was classy as shit.
Real classy. French 75 tacos, hot wings, and mosquitoes. So we was good. Like, I mean, come on. There ain't no other party gonna give it to you like that. Ain't nobody else gonna do it to you like that. Come on.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's what we do.
So, it's good to be able to do a show with my third best friend. And
this show has also established the pecking order, just so that we're clear. So, I mean, it's okay. It's all right. It's okay.
And, I feel like our biggest achievement so far is getting everyone to participate. Well, I'd like to say that we sponsored the post blackout cruise because
it was really, really, really fun. While it was not as controlled as I would have liked it to have been, but it still was very fun. And it was really, really, really good. Hey, El Teddy, It was really, really good, and I enjoyed it. But again, it gave birth to
the Say Something Hat Day,
and also to our cruise coming up.
yes,
So, I mean, this is what it is.
BGKH.
Yeah. So it's just we're still growing, and we've had some personal growth moments as well. Like Dominion and I chat about a lot of stuff off air as well.
Yeah.
To be clear, a lot of our stuff, and I'm sure you all know this if you've watched the show long enough, and both of us, a lot of stuff that we do is very unscripted, and it's real. It's just what we do, and
The only thing that is scripted is the stories that we actually talk about. Everything else is totally off the cuff.
It's totally live. Yeah, we even had a couple. We did a lip syncing episode where we were lip syncing our favorite songs, and
Yes.
yeah. So we celebrated Black Music Month. We celebrated we did our favorite movies. I think it was. We talked about or movie quotes. I think it was. We've been having a lot of fun and stuff that just has happened, and just our regular everyday lives has been interesting.
Yes. Now I will admit that before COVID, we were having a lot more adventures a lot more regularly because we were traveling a lot, and there was always something. But I still think we have a fair amount of adventures, and it feels like we might be having some adventures this weekend.
It very well may be happening.
All right.
Very well may be happening. So yeah. Hey Dylan. Can we take a minute? I'm gonna wish Dylan good luck because he's going to be defending his master's thesis coming up. Mm-hmm. So I want to say congratulations and good luck and congratulations all in the same breath. You're going to do a wonderful job. And I know you're going to be prepared. You're going to be there. You're going to be in the moment. Stay engaged, and you'll be. Listen, I'll just see you on the other side when you come on over into Master's Land. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, we're super excited for you and very proud of you.
Yes, indeed. Lou, Lou, you're going to be watching. Okay. Well, listen, I'm going to see what time it is, so I'm going to see if I can peek my head in. So I'm going to see how this is going to go. But again, good luck. You don't really need it because you're going to be fine. You're going to be wonderful, but I'm still going to say good luck.
Yes. Oh, and if we hadn't said it before, I'm not sure if he's joined us yet. Oh, so it is on, November the 29th, which is Tuesday. 29th is
29th. I think it is. Wait. Okay. How about I pick up this one?
Tuesday is 29th. Yeah. So I won't be able to be there because that's in the middle of the workday, and there's foolishness. Oh, I must tell you. So I did have, I also got the guy coming to fix the washing machine on Tuesday. So that is a story.
Oh Lord.
So. Oh,
is it a good story? Does it end up with somebody having something shoved in their mouth?
No, other than Crow, yes.
Oh, well, okay. I guess we can talk about that too.
I had a bit of a Julia Sugarbaker moment. And that is the
night. The light went out in Georgia. But you can't just say Georgia. You gotta say Georgia.
Georgia. Yes. I had to cuss the girls out about that a little bit, but as long as they get my shit together on Tuesday, we will be good to go.
Okay. Good.
So anywho, so that's that. I mean, episode 200, we might as well jump right in and do what we do. Yeah.
So all right, so let me start off with this, and this is why we wanted people to come in for the show, because we wanted to get everybody's opinions. I don't know if you want to open up and have maybe one person at a time give their comments on this, and have that one person to come into the. That's
going to be real difficult to manage, so they'll just have to say it in the chat, and we'll put it on screen.
Okay, all right. Well, let's do it that way. Okay, so for the super fans, we have put this article out in our super fan chat, And I'm going to go ahead and read this.
Well, no, before you read that, you have
Okay.
to tell the story first. So read the story first, which gives context for where this is coming from.
Well, yes, I was going to read that entire post.
No, not that post, but the story afterwards about finding love in a new place.
Well,
because that gives the context to all of this.
It could, but I was going to do it the other way. But I mean, we could do it either way, so that's fine.
You're our chief newscaster, so please, I will leave it to you, Connie Chung.
Thank you. So listen. So we all have heard about the August Alsina, Jada Pinkett, Will Smith scenario, whatever that is. If you're calling it the entanglement, if you're calling it the cougar of the 2000s or whatever you want to call it, but here, we already know that August Alsina and Jada Pinkett Smith had an entanglement at some particular point, and August Alsina is probably older, like in the same age bracket as their oldest child, which I think is Jaden. I think Jaden's the oldest.
No, he's in the same bracket as Will's oldest child, who was Troy.
So, Trey is so. But how
Trey,
is he significantly older than them? And well, let me back up. August Alsina is at least 10 years younger than the two of them, and I want to say more like 15, but I think it's at least.
He was born in 1992. He's 30 years old,
so he's 20 years younger than both of them.
Yes.
At least. Okay. So, with that being said, the whole idea of August Alsina and Jada Pinkett Smith having an entanglement, and it's been rumored for so many different, for many years and from many different places on the internets and the interwebs and just in conversation that Will and Jada have an open relationship. And I'm saying allegedly because there's no factual based anything that says that it actually happened, but it's alleged that they have this open relationship. Okay. So I was scrolling through the Book of Faces one day, and I happened to go on to one of my faves page, Trinity K. Bonet. And Trinity had this interesting article that was listed out here, and it was a theory about the August, Will, and Jada thing. And she literally said, okay, hear me out. And so I'm going to read this. These are her words. Just want y'all to know. And but again, it made me start thinking, and this is the question that I posed to the super fans. Okay, so here we go. August, Jada, and Will were all friends. Jada looked at August like a little brother, but Will looked at August like a piece of meat. Jada and Will had been polyamorous for a long time. Jada found out about Will's interest in August, and she dealt with it. Jada didn't really care for it because of how young August was compared to Will, but again, dealt with it. An ongoing relationship formed between Will and August, and Jada dealt with that as well, like any other polyamorous partner would. They were open and honest to each other about their private relationships with each other and will protect each other at all costs. So when the issue came up that someone was threatening to expose Will and August due to seeing them together at their house on several occasions, Jada decided to sacrifice herself, her reputation, and morals to protect her husband and this young man, August, who was just a casualty in a poly relationship gone wrong. So that is when Jada publicly spoke about the quote unquote entanglement and presented it in a way to look as if she and August had been in a sexual relationship with each other, when in reality, she was in an entanglement because of her husband's sexual liaisons with August. That is really why Will was sad and teary-eyed when she was speaking about it, because he was witnessing his wife taking the fall for him, knowing that millions of people were going to judge her and hate her and paint her as this selfish villain to protect him. And he couldn't say anything to discredit what his wife was saying, because that could have ruined his reputation and career, along with the career of August, who was young enough to be his son. So now it all makes sense why Will smacked the shit out of Chris Rock on national television, who he had felt disrespected his wife. The love and respect he had to have for his wife, who unbeknownst to quote unquote us, saved his reputation. He felt he owed her that much by defending her honor, the same honor that was in pieces due to her selflessness and sacrifice. Now, she says, just my own thoughts, might be true, might not, but a good read nonetheless. So I posted this article, or this thought, if you will, in the with the super fans, and I wanted everyone that were super fans to give us their opinions on what they felt about this particular theory of what may have gone on between August, Jada, and Will. So part of the reason why we had everybody on the panel earlier, so we can get their thoughts and we can talk about it live. So we realized that we lost a little bandwidth, so we're going to go back into chat. And so I'm going to call some of the people that were in the chat earlier, and I'm going to put you guys in this order. So I know all of you are ready, because you if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. But what I am going to ask is, I'm going to ask Louboutin to give us his 2 cents, if you are still on, about this particular article, and your thoughts on just the whole idea that this could have possibly happened. I'm going to give you some time to type your thoughts. I'm also going to ask that Bougie Girl, as well as Scissorhands and Eccentric, get ready to post your thoughts in the chat so that we can then talk about it afterwards. But after reading that, I'm gonna ask Dominion first, then I'm gonna go next, and then if Louboutin has his thoughts ready, to have posted them in the chat so we can then talk about his thoughts, and then go on to Bougie Girl, and then go on to Scissorhands, and then go on to Eccentric to just get your thoughts. So Dominion, what are your thoughts on this? How do you feel about this possible theory of what may have happened?
I mean, I guess it makes sense, but they're all stunt queens, so I don't really care. They really just all get on my nerves, and they could have just not said anything.
That's an option.
This posits it as if some I mean, the only way that this all makes it, well, yes, Legionnaire, you do get to share as well.
I'm sorry, Legionnaire. Yes, you do. I'm sorry. Please get your thoughts ready together as well.
Unless, I guess, if we're going to go with someone was threatening to expose them, then I guess that makes sense. But that is one hell of an L to take. But I mean, if we're talking about who got the money in this family and who don't, I mean, whose career, whose career is more integral to the survival of that family? And it's not because Will is a man, but because it's Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. I mean, if Jada Pinkett Smith never made another movie.
But she got red table money. She got red table talk money. I'm just saying.
Okay, girl, sure. But she
also got woo money. She got woo money.
Woo, bitch! Did you say woo? Woo? You didn't say girls trip. You said woo.
She got woo money. I'm just saying, she got woo money.
So that's just my thing. It always makes me. I try not to trade in gossip where I can avoid it, and this is all built on someone's supposition, and we're treating it like. I mean, anything is plausible.
Right.
I mean, he could have been having an affair with you. I mean, y'all both from Philadelphia, and maybe he ran into you once, and he saw all those cakes and couldn't resist. You was walking like Gloria, like, I hope he's not still looking. He is. So this is all gossip, and I always feel bad about gossip because it's not based on any facts that we know. Have we heard rumors that Will, likes to dip his wick in other pots, but none of that has been substantiated, and I don't know, it just makes me feel icky to even think about it, because ultimately I don't care one way or another.
So okay, and those are some of your thoughts. I actually think that this theory However far-fetched it may sound to some people, it gives me a lot of very solid and firm foundation for some of the or motivations for some of the things that they have done. It could be like she said, it could be totally right and totally wrong, but it just seems very plausible at this particular point. And I think that kind of that echoes what Louboutin said as well, because he was saying, in his opinion, it sounds like it could be possibly be true based on certain situations. However, he says, I do not know what we should believe at this particular point in time, and that's true because again, we have so many things that are swirling around. I see Desmond. He said Will got hurt when Jada got caught sleeping with his piece. So, I mean, that is an option as well. I mean,
whoever was getting it, they was getting dick down good because August Alsina got some meat.
Well, wait a minute. So now Louboutin. So wait, Lou. Now he done put this comment out here. That happened to me at Blackout with Epic. No, baby. No, baby. No.
Wait a minute. The people want to know.
No, baby. No. No, baby. No.
Now this is facts, honey. Tell us the facts.
To be clear, and Dominion, you chime in on this because I know it probably happens more often than not, and people don't necessarily think about it. But apparently, someone, as I heard through the grapevine, has been a fan for quite some time of me, but they've never said anything.
Louboutin?
No. I'm not. No, not Louboutin. I'm not saying Louboutin. But what I'm saying is this particular person apparently was a fan of mine for quite some time, but never said anything to me. It just so happens that Lou and I were walking somewhere. We bumped into them, and then there was a light flirtation, but then it was a very overt. It wasn't even a light flirtation. It was very much of like, this is my room key, like bitch, be there at 8 type of situation. And
text me who this is. Who this was?
I can't even remember their damn name, but I can show you their face because it is. So then when, as I normally do, when I made the hookup and I said, hey, well, listen, Lou, this is such and such, this is Lou, y'all figure it out. But Lou was already on his own shit because Lou's on his grown man shit because he was like, listen, I already have my information in my phone. Let me just tap my phone to yours. Boop, you got my information. Call me when you need to. Like, I'll be available. Like, he was the consummate professional. But then later on, I then found out that they made it happen, whatever that was. And so now it's a thing possibly that it could have, when Lou's saying that it happened to Epic and I, it didn't really happen to us.
So y'all almost had an entanglement?
It kind of almost would have been, but I never really paid that person any attention. I wasn't thinking about them. It didn't happen for me. So, but I'm glad that I'm glad that you had a pleasant conversation. We'll go with that. So, but anyway, so Tyra, you had some thoughts as well. Eccentric, you had some thoughts. Legionnaire, you had some thoughts. Now it would have been the time to put those things out there. And Tamika, really, what was one of your favorites?
Yeah, so that's just my thing. You know, we had an extensive conversation when that slap happened, and my opinion that they're all just stunt queens. So Eccentric says it makes so much sense, and and us knowing of poly or cuck relationships, it absolutely makes sense that it was a protection issue, less a cheating one. The entanglement was too convenient. # woo money.
I mean, I'm just saying. She's sitting pretty on that woo money. I'm just saying.
And I'm with Legionnaire. Well, thank you for your theory, Trinity, but I find it all too exhausting to even think about. It's just not in me to care. And that's really it for me. It's just not in me to care. I mean, I don't find Will that attractive. Jada, I don't really care about anybody in this triangle.
Okay.
allegedly. Although, if I was to pretend to care for a moment, it does perhaps
Pretend to
put
care.
a
Pretend to
bit
care. Pretend to care. Pretend to care.
pretend to care, right? Pretend to have feelings. Pretend to have feelings. It does put some context to what happened at the Oscars because it just seemed very out of left field for Will to come all the way out of his bag like that to actually get up on stage and slap somebody in the face in
Yes.
public like that. Just like, girl, what's going on? What's going on with you, honey? What's happening? And
Yeah.
I get that because here's the thing. So, all right, so if I'm going to get into it, right,
Come on.
Jada has made all of this sacrifice, and then, now they're making fun of her at the Oscars. And she looking at it, was like, oh, bitch. Oh, so you just let this nigga just talk about me like this on stage after all I did for you? And she didn't have to say any of that. She just gave him the look.
She gave him that look. Right.
And that look had all of that in it. All of that was in that look. And so Will was like, oh shit.
I gotta do something.
I gotta do something.
Yeah.
And before he could think of what it was doing, he was like, oh, okay. I slapped the bitch in the face. That make you feel better, baby? Yeah.
So Tyra, we're waiting on your thoughts on this. So we can put that out there. Nichelle, do you have thoughts on this as well? But I'm laughing now at Desmond talking about bringing that man with all that meat in the house. He should have known better. Really?
If we're going to go there, I mean, because I can engage in gossip with the best. I just try not to, because Mama raised me right. I'm not saying they didn't raise y'all right, but I just don't like to do that because having been the subject of gossip and rumors, not that I slept with August Alsina, but you know what I mean. I just try not.
That's the only person you ever slept with?
All right, let me just end this broadcast right now because I got to get on the road to Pittsburgh to beat a bitch up.
So. No. Okay.
Tyra says, theory 1, horseshit Jada has been known as a dom. She and Will have had freaky, dirty, nasty, freaky, big fun with the damn wretched in Baltimore with the donut in Delaware and a strap on. And that really does seem to me. That's why, if we're going to go with this theory, I was just like, I just assume that, I thought that theirs was a marriage of. So if anybody has watched House of the Dragons, there is this scene between the princess who is the heir to the throne and this gay light-skinned black dude that she is set to marry. She knows that he's gay, and so she says, we both have appetites, and our appetites when we sit down to dinner usually don't align, but we will do our duty and make our appetites align to please our families. And then outside of that, we can go eat whatever makes us happy. And so I usually feel like that's what's going on with Will and Jada, that their appetites do not align. I mean, they aligned at least, 2 times because they got 2 kids. But I mean, anybody can. I mean, we've seen plenty of porn movies where the dude is getting his dick sucked while watching a woman get fucked on camera, on the side. So,
Then there's that. But Bougie Girl had another comment when she said, her comment was, you don't think Jada ain't take said strap on and play Stroke Mama Summer Sausage with August? August, who was already vulnerable and had bad breakups and shit with his and all his family shit. Okay, that's true.
I see that. And, I love to, me, those of us who watch the show and you too, we both love some old big dick bottom trade and just grab on to, like a joystick and just, you either fucking them yourself or ramming something in them and just holding on to that dick like a joystick and feeling it pulse in your hand with every stroke. Exactly. Legionnaire said, come on, handle. It's exactly that.
Right.
So, and I do want to back up and say all of this is alleged,
It's alleged. It is
alleged, all fiction. We'll know none of the truth. We'll know none of these people. I have never met Will, Jada, or August Alsina in person. But, I will say that August Alsina looks tall and very slim. And he looks like you could put both hands around his waist,
around the waist, and right on the cervical bones, when you
right on them bones, right at the top. And listen, your
fingers, they in the hook. They in the hook like this.
They in the cum gutter. Your fingers are right there in the cum gutters. Top tier. That's some top tier pussy right there.
Yeah, you be like, you ain't got to move your arm. You're doing like this. You're just doing like,
right.
That's all you're doing.
Exactly.
Listen. But so listen. I mean, again, like Dominion said, this is all alleged. We don't know what this is. It's all based off of Trinity's theory that she posted on Facebook. But here's what I will add to this particular story.
Mm-hmm.
August Alsina actually talks about recently. He just talked about finding love in a new place. And he gives us an update just last week. In the latest episode of The Surreal Life.
Is that the new place right there?
In the latest episode of The Surreal Life.
Wait a minute. Desmond says, and he toxic, so you know it's good. And Boozy Girl says, I want to lick that toxic.
Baby, listen.
Technical body terms.
Right. And I am laughing at Desmond because, listen, if those of you that don't know, baby, listen, listen, he could, I will go in every now and then and say that's my child, that's my younger sister, that's my, listen, we have some memories about some shit. And baby, if anybody knows something that's toxic, we have experienced some of that amongst the two of us. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
I have always said that crazy people have the best sex. Crazy people give the best sex.
Oh, God.
Male, female, gay, straight, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, whatever. Crazy people always give the best sex.
So okay, so going back to the crazy people and the good sex and specifically August Alsina, who we don't know if he's crazy, has good sex, is toxic and has good sex or not, but this is what he's done. Mm-hmm. He gave us an update in the latest episode of The Surreal Life, and where he spoke about love and wanting to honor the person that has sparked that in him, and he then brought out his love interest, who was a gentleman by the name of Zoo. And he had stepped into the New Orleans artist life and brought happiness. Listen, he also has done several songs with August as well. And but listen, he brought that person on the cameras and out in the publics. So Mr. Alsina, I don't necessarily know if we need to put a label on him, but what we will say is he has found love with a man named Zoo. So that's what we're going to say right now. So that's where we at. That's all we know. This is what he put out there. But I find all of this interesting, especially when I think back on the theory that Trinity just presented about the whole Will and Jada and August. And, listen, I'm here for it.
When that summer sausage hit that spot, all the grain of sense and sanity went out the gated security windows.
I cannot with you, Bougie.
But it's true though. And that's why, because here's the thing. It was it yesterday? I guess it was yesterday. All of a sudden, I started seeing all of these. It started with the post that you had posted in our Superfans group. But then throughout the day, I kept seeing all of these posts about August Alsina and dudes and other stuff. And I was like, wait a minute, is August Alsina gay now? And then I found this article and then I was like, oh, okay. So this all makes a little bit more sense. I mean, he cute and everything, but
now have you seen Zoo? Zoo looks a little, I don't know why the first word that's coming to my mind is institutionalized, but he looks a little like
You trying to say Zoo look a little slow?
He just looks a little like you start walking with your left foot.
So
start walking with your left.
So here's the shade. Here's the shade. You would know. You like them. You like the ones that rode a slightly shorter bus to school.
I need y'all to understand that this has been a 17-year conversation that we have just had with, and we're gonna leave it alone because listen, the last time we had this conversation, we almost wrecked some lives, but we're not gonna talk. We're not gonna have this conversation because it's on video. We're not gonna do that.
Who they gonna fight? What they gonna do?
No. Let me be clear. I didn't say wreck mine or wreck yours. No. That was that.
It's all I got to do is do this and wave something shiny in their face, and they'll be gone.
But I still don't like that. I still don't like one of the people in that particular.
Well, of course.
But we'll leave that alone. Anyway,
that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we talk about over these 200 episodes. There's like a whole thing. Like, we're not texting on the side now. That is one of the things that was funny about doing the show in person, because you would say something or I would say something, and I'd be like, "What are you talking about?" And then he would just write some words on the paper, and I'd be like, "For real?"
Yeah. That is one of the best. That is one of the best things about having a live face-to-face audience, and when we do our show together, it's because we can do stuff like that, and then we don't even necessarily need to say words. We can give context clues, and then we can figure it all out. We'll be like, all right, I got it. We good. Now, I will say that I've had some slow moments, and I'm like, bitch, what? What are you talking about? Bitch, what? But again, that's one of the fun things about doing it in person too. So, to me, you said, well, August is getting confused and looking for love. Oh Lord. Nichelle, how old is Nichelle? You said he's 12. How old is he? You said he's 30 something, 31?
August Alsina just turned 30 on September the 30th.
30. Okay. Well, he's still young. He's too young for me, but I mean, he grown, but
too young for what? I mean, too young for you to what?
Too young for me to have more than to have some sort of relationship with.
Oh.
While he is not necessarily on my list of things that I want to screw per se, I would do it.
He's not on the. I'll put it like this: he's not on the list, but he's not on the list.
Exactly. So, listen, if we walked into Florida's hot spot like that we did the last time, and it was a spinning turntable again, I'd
grab him.
I'll take 2 tickets, please.
Right.
2 tickets, please. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'll ride that ride. Mm-hmm.
So, speaking of homosexuals,
allegedly,
he was in a relationship with a man. And yes, could he be bisexual? But when this show first came out, I was like, he's a homo, right? We're talking about Todd Chrisley, and I was like, this woman is his beard. This woman has to be his beard. That cannot be. He cannot be dicking her down every night. I just don't see it. He was just too much of a lady to me.
Well, listen. We might have some changes to how that whole relationship is getting ready to work. So listen, if y'all been watching the news lately, you might have heard, but we're going to tell you here. The Chrisley Knows Best stars have been sentenced to a combined 19 years in prison. They lose their show as well. So Todd and Julie Chrisley, stars of
USA. You're gonna lose your show, honey, because you're gonna be in jail for 12 years.
Well, so we'll talk about that. But so Todd and Julie Chrisley, stars of USA Network's hit reality series Chrisley Knows Best, have been sentenced to a combined total of 19 years in prison. Todd was sentenced to 12 years. And his wife was sentenced to 7 years. And this is 12 years plus 16 months probation, and 7 years for Julie with 16 months probation as well. Their accountant, Peter Tarantino, was sentenced as well to 3 years in prison after being found guilty of filing 2 false corporate tax returns on behalf of the Chrisley's company. He's going to start his sentence next May after recovering from hip surgery. Now, listen, Todd Chrisley got a lighter sentence than expected, with guidelines suggesting he could get up to 22 years in prison, and his wife could have gotten up to 12 and a half years. But listen, they were found guilty in June of conspiring to defraud community banks out of more than $30 million of fraudulent loans, as well as a number of tax crimes, including including conspiring to defraud the U.S. Tax evasion, while Julie Christie was found guilty of wire fraud and obstruction of justice. Now, again, their show's been canceled, but there's been no official word from NBC Universal. The article where I got this, the source where I got this deadline, they said they understand that Chrisley Knows Best, which has run for 9 seasons, essentially followed real estate tycoon Todd Chrisley, his wife Julie, and family, has been canceled, and has as have the spinoff Growing Up Chrisley, which followed the kids Chase and Savannah as they embraced adulthood away from Todd and Julie. The U.S. Attorney's Office noted that before the pair became reality TV stars, they submitted false bank statements, audit reports, and personal financial statements to banks to obtain the millions of dollars in fraudulent loans, and then spent the money on luxury cars, designer clothes, real estate, and travel, and used new fraudulent loans to pay back old ones. Now, after spending all the money, Todd filed for bankruptcy and walked away from more than $20 million of the fraudulently obtained loans.
So I think he is this week's
stunt queen.
Stunt queen. Stunt queen. Stunt queen. Because that is a stunt.
But listen, this is exactly how some of the businessmen, in quotations, what they would do, especially during our parents' era and even before, because I've heard that so many times about people filing bankruptcy after they ruined stuff with funds that weren't even their own. They've come back and were able to rebrand themselves, repopulate their lives, and just become a whole complete new different person after bankruptcy. But then it also makes me think about the bankruptcy laws and how they've changed, probably like in the early 90s, so they can stop all of this. So
yes, but then also a lot of times, I mean, so if you're going to be a stunt queen like this, you can't also be on a TV show flossing your wealth.
That is correct.
You really should not have been on the show. And also, the way that a lot of those people avoid it is that, yes, they live a nice lifestyle, but they're not necessarily living a lavish lifestyle. And they usually have some sort of a business and can show that the business went belly up. Now, did the business go belly up because they were terrible at managing it? That's one thing. But if you literally get a loan for $10 million, and because what I'm almost certain that they did was, you said Mr. and Mrs. Chrisley, or Mrs. and Miss Chrisley,
Mrs. and Miss, yeah,
Mrs. and Miss Chrisley. You took out a loan for $10 million to do real estate. Okay, what properties do you own? And we're not talking about your personal properties, because you can't take out a $10 million business loan to buy your house. You need to be like, oh, I'm a real estate investor and we were investing in this property and the property went belly up. Okay, that shit happens. But if they can't, or you owned a car dealership, you own a Tesla dealership and you couldn't sell not one Tesla, or you owned a widget factory and the widget factory burnt down with all of your stock in it. So then that's the thing. You can't just that's how these kids got caught with the PPE loan. You can't just take out a loan and then not actually do anything. You can't be like, I'm taking out this PPE loan to support the daycare. And then they're like, well, then the IRS shows up like, girl, where's the daycare?
Where's the daycare and where's the 9 people on the damn on the damn payroll that you said you had? Where the hell is that at?
Right. Can you show me, even if the daycare went belly up, show me where you paid these 9 people.
Baby, listen, some of the people in prison were running this PPE scam, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, they were doing the most. And I was like, how are you doing this? How?
And how do you think that you was going to get away with this and no one was going to say anything?
Mika,
the IRS, the federal government always gets its money.
Mika, she's so funny. She said, but we knew she was the stunt queen when every season he came back with a new face.
True, that is very
Mika
true.
quit it.
I remember the first time I saw this show, I was like, they've given this homosexual a TV show?
Listen, I saw him.
I was confusion. Because what I saw the first couple of times, I mean, I didn't watch the show, but I saw like a clip from it, and I was like, oh, so they gave this Southern homosexual a show. Okay, sure. And then he was like, this is my wife. He was giving very Beverly Leslie. My wife, Crystal, had this risky experimental surgery, and unfortunately, she survived.
And there it is.
So I've got a couple of stories real quick to talk about before we go. So first of all, we want to say congratulations to Kyra Harris Bolden being named the first Black woman on Michigan Supreme Court. Actually, Michigan did a whole flippity-do because their whole legislature had been controlled by Republicans for a very long time. Gretchen Whitmer came in, was elected, won re-election, and based on her platform of actually having a platform versus the Republican platform of fear-mongering and hate, they flipped the entire legislature. So for the first time in like 30 years, the governorship and both houses of their legislature are under Democratic control. And the Kyra is the first Black woman on the Michigan Supreme Court. And we also want to say congratulations to Representative Joe Tate, who is the first Black speaker of the Michigan House. So congratulations to all of them. I just think this is so what the fuck that I am still just like, Kanye West showed Yeezy and Adidas staff explicit photos of Kim Kardashian. And we're not talking about the explicit photos of
Kim and Ray J?
No, yeah, or shit that we've already seen. But even if my wife or my husband is a porn star, I just feel like I wouldn't be sharing pictures of our intimate life together. That's just tacky. So, but I mean, it's Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. So, I mean, Tamika said their whole marriage is giving arrangement. I always thought it was just like she was that whole thing with that big cute light skinned basketball player. Chris Humphries.
No, I think Tamika was talking about the Chrisleys and not the Kardashian, not Kim and Ye. However, it could apply though.
Yeah, it could apply. Yeah, I think that relationship fell apart because I think Chris was just not understanding what the game was, and then when he was like, okay, Kim, I love you. Let's go do whatever. She was like, girl, this is an arrangement.
Listen, I think she definitely got burnt.
At most, I will sleep with you to kick out a couple of light-skinned kids, and that's it.
I think she got burnt with the whole Reggie Bush thing because there's so many rumors that Reggie's mom was not having it up with Kim.
Reggie was like, no, bitch, she's a fucking gold. Reggie's mother was like, she's a fucking gold digger, and I will die before I let you marry this bitch.
And baby, I'm so mad at Kim. Woo, I'm so mad at her. I was like, girl, listen, you don't let that man walk away. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Listen, that Reggie Bush is some kind of fine. His old chocolate self. That black motherfucker.
But Mama knew what she was talking about. All right,
she did.
Two more things. So at the American Music Awards, which I didn't even know was happening.
Listen, this is where I definitely know I'm getting older because I don't even know who some of these people are. I'm like, who are you? What do you say? I'm trying to be.
So it happened on Sunday, and Kelly Rowland presented the artist for the award for a favorite male R&B artist, which went to Chris Brown.
She looked absolutely flawless. Let me be clear.
She did. So the crowd booed Brown's win, and Rowland shushed them before going on to praise the singer for his talents and contributions. And she said later that I believe that grace is very real, and we all need a dose of it. And before we point fingers at anybody, we should realize how grateful we are for every moment that we get. Blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. I'm like,
I just appreciate the fact that she was clean as hell. She looked good, and I was here for it.
Right. And that's all that matters. Last thing, Brandy is back. She will be reprising her historic role as Cinderella in the upcoming Disney Plus film, The Pocket Watch.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna do my best, Diane Carroll. Brandy's making a comeback again. Okay, I'll support her. Okay, all right.
So this this film, The Pocket Watch, is the latest entry in the popular Descendants franchise following Red, the whip-smart and rebellious teenage daughter of the Queen of Hearts, and Chloe, the perfectionist and athletic daughter of Cinderella and Prince Charming, as they try to prevent an impending coup in Aurora Dawn. Per the official synopsis, Red must join forces with Chloe to travel back in time via the White Rabbit's pocket watch to stop an event that could lead to grave consequences. So that's the synopsis. So, okay.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I guess. I mean, I don't really care. I don't care even a little bit.
Lord. I don't know. Well, hopefully it'll be interesting. Hopefully it'll be interesting.
Yes.
We'll go with that.
So that's all I got for this week.
Yeah. I mean, I'm good. Listen, we can roll this beautiful bean footage because listen, there's food that's cooking in the background.
Oh, what is Treasure Lane cooking for us tonight?
There's some Thanksgiving vittles going on. It smells like a turkey right now, but I know there was some mac and cheese in there, and there was something else. What is that on that? What is that in the oven right now, young man? He's too engrossed in the cooking, but it smells good.
Oh, okay, good. How many people y'all having?
Just the two.
Oh, sorry.
What? People.
My bad.
I don't know them.
Well, all right. Let's roll this footage.
All righty. So wait a minute. So Bougie, you said you had to marinate 5 pounds of salmon. I'm sorry, salmon.
Oh, is this? Yeah, I want to, So we'll need to be posting pictures of all of this food. I'm gonna take pictures of the food at Maggiano's because I am not cooking.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on.
Lola said she got catered Thanksgiving this year. Okay, she fancy.
Did you watch Interview with I'm sorry, American Horror Story?
Ooh, look at the time. We got to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want you all to understand that we had this conversation about this young man who's supposed to have watched American Horror Story, New York City, and he said, and I quote, I will have watched all the episodes by the next show, which would have been this show.
Life happens. I mean, I was just so thrown off by this August, Jada, and Will story that
really. Listen, Bougie Girl said it best. His ass lied.
I did watch the second episode, so I'm catching up. Wait a minute. Louboutin said, I knew what was happening from the beginning. I did do my best, and I guess my best wasn't good enough. I gave my all, but I guess my all would have been too much.
Well, we got copyright infringement. We don't want to get blocked out. Come on now. We're not doing all that.
All right, and it won't happen this weekend either because, baby, I am logging out of life. I am going to go up to New York City. I'm going to go shopping. I'm going to go whoring. Then I'm going to go shopping again, and then I'm going to go eat at my favorite restaurant on Sunday night. And yeah, so we'll talk about it as soon as we get off of the air. So
yeah, I'm setting up I'm making an appointment right now.
Okay. Well, all right, kids, we will see you all next week for the season finale. Cycle 4.
Yes, of Cycle 4. Listen, Cycle 4 has been amazing, as just like Cycle 3 and Cycle 2 and Cycle 1. Cycle 5 will be even better.
Guess what? Cycle 5 is going to be? Epic. Thank you all for coming out. God bless you and good night. Mwah. Love you, bunches.
Bye.